Have you ever felt that sinking feeling in your chest when you walk into your barn and see one of your animals looking dull and listless, while you mentally calculate the skyrocketing costs of vets and medications this month? Believe me, I understand perfectly because I've been there too, watching weeks of hard work vanish into pharmacy bills. But what if I told you that the solution to shielding your livestock's health isn't found in a chemical lab but is actually growing right there in your own backyard, just waiting for you to use it? Today, we are going to break the myth that natural remedies are slow or ineffective, because what you are about to discover is literally a living pharmacy that has been hidden in plain sight. We are talking about a tool that doesn't just save lives, it optimizes every cent you invest in your production, allowing you to sleep soundly knowing your animals have a natural shield against disease. Get ready, because after watching this, your vision of farm medicine will never be the same. Let's begin. Aloe vera is far more than just a decorative plant. It is a biological powerhouse containing over 200 active compounds, including vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and enzymes that work in synergy to regenerate tissues and fortify defenses. What truly makes it a game-changer in the world of livestock and poultry is a specific molecule called ace-mannan. This complex polysaccharide has the unique ability to interact with macrophages and dendritic cells, essentially waking up the immune system. It triggers what scientists call mucosal immunity, creating a biological barrier that allows the animal's own defenses to recognize and neutralize viruses and bacteria before they escalate into a fatal infection. In simple terms, it's like giving every living thing on your farm a regenerative superpower. In this technical and practical journey, we are going to dive deep into how this plant transforms the reality of different species. We will cover cattle, where we see surprising production boosts, move into the swine barns to combat weaning stress, visit small ruminants to shield them from parasites, and finish with waterfowl before reaching a vital warning about rabbits that could save their lives. Before we talk about dosages, we must talk about safety, because the difference between a miracle cure and a serious problem lies in a small yellow detail known as yellow sap, latex, or aloe. The aloe leaf contains this bitter, yellowish substance just beneath the rind, which acts as the plant's natural defense mechanism against herbivores in the wild. In high doses, aloe is an extremely potent laxative that causes severe dehydration, cramping, and extreme weakness, especially in young animals or those already weakened by infection. To ensure your remedy is 100% safe, you must always perform the purification process. Harvest the mature leaves from the base. Make a clean cut at the white end, and submerge the leaf vertically in a container of clean water for at least 24 hours. You will notice the water turns a yellow or reddish tint. That is the toxic aloe leaching out of the plant. Once that time has passed, discard that water, wash the leaf thoroughly, and you are left with a pure, transparent gel ready to be processed without any risk of toxicity for your livestock. The impact of aloe vera on cattle and large livestock is nothing short of revolutionary for the modern producer's bottom line. One of the greatest daily challenges in milking is mastitis, that painful inflammation of the udder that not only ruins milk quality but forces the use of expensive antibiotics that prevent you from selling the product during withdrawal periods. It has been proven that including aloe vera extract in a cow's daily diet can increase milk production by up to 25%. This happens because the plant acts as a prebiotic, stabilizing the rumen's pH and improving the efficiency of the microbiota. This allows the cow to absorb nutrients from her forage much more effectively while, interestingly, reducing methane gas production, making your farm more efficient and environmentally friendly. For active mastitis cases, aloe vera serves as a powerful topical anti-inflammatory. Applying the macerated gel directly to the swollen udder helps reduce pain and swelling almost immediately, accelerating tissue recovery without leaving chemical residues. The recommended dose for internal benefits is 200 milliliters of pure, liquefied aloe juice, purified of aloe, mixed into the drinking water or the concentrated feed once a day. If you raise pigs, you know that the most critical and stressful moment is weaning. Piglets suffer immense pressure when separating from the sow, which weakens their immune systems and opens the door to weaning crash and neonatal diarrhea, which can wipe out an entire litter in hours. Aloe vera acts here as a world-class natural gastric protector. When supplied to piglets, the ace-mannan coats the intestinal walls, preventing pathogenic bacteria like Escherichia coli from adhering and causing digestive havoc. Furthermore, its soothing properties reduce cortisol levels, the stress hormone, helping the piglet adapt faster to its new growth stage. A pig with a healthy digestive system is a pig that utilizes every gram of feed. Studies show that specimens supplemented with aloe vera have a better feed conversion ratio, reaching market weight faster and with superior gut health. The most effective method of administration here is diluting the aloe juice in the drinking water at a ratio of 1 liter of pure juice for every 10 liters of water during the first 5 critical days of weaning. We must never forget that consistency is the key to success with any natural treatment. It is not enough to give it once and expect miracles. Botanical veterinary medicine requires you to establish a routine where the animal receives these compounds gradually so its metabolism can integrate them correctly. Because it is a natural product, aloe vera is assimilated with astonishing ease by the animal's body, avoiding the side effects that synthetic drugs often leave in the liver or kidneys. We are talking about true prevention, building a biological wall that keeps diseases out of your barns and stables. In the next stage of our journey, we will see how this same principle of holistic health applies to other essential inhabitants of the farm, extending these benefits to small ruminants and our valuable poultry, ensuring no corner of your production is left without the protection of this wonderful plant. Continuing our journey through applied botany for our production, it is time to turn our gaze towards small ruminants, those tireless farm workers like sheep and goats. For these animals, aloe vera becomes an unparalleled internal and external ally, especially when we talk about parasites that drain their productivity and general health. Ticks and other external parasites don't just suck blood and weaken the animal. They are vectors for serious diseases that can decimate your flock in a very short time. Here, aloe vera acts as a high-potency natural repellent and healer. By applying the gel directly to the skin or in highly infested areas, we are not only helping to suffocate the parasite, but the plant's antiseptic properties prevent bites from becoming infected or turning into hard-to-heal sores. Furthermore, any goat breeder knows that hoof problems, such as foot rot or injuries from stony ground, can leave an animal lame and out of action, affecting their grazing ability and, consequently, their weight. The healing capacity of aloe vera on hooves is astonishing, penetrating deep into the tissues to regenerate the skin and toughen the area, allowing the animal to walk normally much faster than with conventional chemical treatments that are often too aggressive. If we move toward the pond or the area for waterfowl, such as geese and ducks, we will discover that aloe vera functions as a revitalizing tonic that seems to inject new life into listless birds or those that have gone through periods of water stress. These species are particularly sensitive to respiratory conditions when there are sudden temperature changes or excessive humidity in the environment, facing problems like bronchitis or rhinitis that hinder their breathing and optimal development. By constantly supplying aloe vera in their drinking water, we are reinforcing the membranes of their respiratory system, creating a natural barrier that prevents environmental pathogens from settling. Additionally, in these birds, the benefit is reflected externally almost immediately. The plumage regains its natural shine and waterproof capacity, which is vital for their thermoregulation and general health when they are in contact with water. It is that invisible shield that allows your geese and ducks to maintain that characteristic vitality and accelerated growth that we breeders who value farm efficiency look for. However, we cannot talk about health in the yard without mentioning the true protagonists of our production: chickens and turkeys. These field birds, unlike waterfowl, face constant challenges with the dreaded respiratory rattle or impacted crops, problems that if not stopped in time can decimate your entire production in a few days. By integrating aloe vera into their daily routine, you are not only achieving a reduction in your medication costs of up to 80%, but you are providing them with a natural shield against internal parasites and heat stress exhaustion, something that is vital for your turkeys to maintain their weight and your hens not to stop their laying cycle. You will see how the quality of their feathers improves and their vitality skyrockets, because a bird that has a clean digestive and respiratory system is a bird that makes the most of every gram of feed to convert it into success for your farm. We now come to a moment of vital importance in our journey, a key point where I need you to pay full attention, because what we are about to cover can mark the difference between success and a fatal error in your yard, the case of rabbits. As a responsible breeder who always seeks the best for their animals, my duty is to warn you that, although aloe vera is a miraculous blessing for almost all the species we have mentioned, in rabbits, we must proceed with absolute caution. While isolated studies mention benefits for cholesterol control in these animals, most experts in veterinary medicine and rabbit breeding warn that aloe vera can be highly toxic if ingested in an uncontrolled manner or in excess. The rabbit's digestive system is extremely complex and delicate. Aloe vera, due to its nature rich in fiber and anthraquinones, can trigger profuse diarrhea that dehydrates the animal in a matter of hours, leading to a fatal outcome if not intervened in time. For this reason, my most honest and safe recommendation for you is that you only use aloe vera on your rabbits topically. If your rabbit has a wound, skin irritation from mites, or has suffered a bite during handling, clean aloe gel without the yellow aloin is excellent for disinfecting and closing the wound externally, but avoid at all costs having them ingested as part of their daily diet to prevent risks that are not worth taking. For these benefits to translate into real and measurable results on your farm, the way of supplying it must be precise, systematic, and adapted to each species to maximize its biological absorption. If talking about parts or percentages seems complicated to you, forget about the math and use this simple rule. For every liter of water your animals drink, you are going to add half a cup of pure aloe vera juice. That is, if you have a 10-liter drinker, simply add 1 liter of the liquefied and drained gel we prepared so carefully. It's that simple. For large livestock such as cows or horses, where the volume of intake is much higher, you can ensure the dose by supplying a large cup of pure juice directly mixed into their concentrated feed ration. This way you guarantee they consume it completely, and nothing is wasted in large tanks. Always remember that this preparation must be fresh and made daily. Aloe vera oxidizes with incredible speed when in contact with air and direct sunlight, losing a large part of its medicinal properties in a few hours if left stagnant. My advice is to prepare only what your animals will consume in one day, so that every drop they ingest is a dose of pure and active health. However, as in every professional management practice on the farm, there are general warnings that we must never overlook under any circumstances. The first and most important is that aloe vera is a supplement, a health enhancer, but it must never replace mandatory vaccination plans established by health authorities nor the consultation with a veterinarian when a disease is already established in a serious or epidemic way. A common mistake is to think that by using natural medicine we can neglect the biosecurity of the property, when in reality aloe vera is the tool that makes all those hygiene measures work much better by having animals with superior defenses. Additionally, you should always monitor your animal's droppings when starting any new treatment. If you notice the feces becoming too soft or liquid, it is a clear sign that the dose is too high for the animal's weight, or that you did not correctly remove the toxic aloe during the draining process. In those cases, you must suspend or reduce the amount immediately to avoid a laxative effect that ends up weakening the animal instead of strengthening it, always taking care of that vital balance that guarantees the success of our breeding. The impact of integrating this ancient knowledge into your daily routine as a producer goes far beyond simply seeing your animals healthier and more vigorous. It is about regaining real control of your production, stopping being dependent solely on what a commercial pharmacy dictates, and understanding that nature has a profound wisdom that we have often forgotten in the search for industrialization. When you see a calf growing with unusual strength, a sow recovering in record time from farrowing, or your birds with enviable plumage and vigor thanks to something you grew and prepared with your own hands, the professional satisfaction as a breeder is immense. It is a path of constant learning, where every small observation you make in your yard will give you the key to adjusting these doses and methods to your specific needs and the conditions of your region. Never underestimate the power of what grows in the ground. Sometimes, the solutions to the most complex farm problems are solved with the noblest and simplest tools we have at our reach if we know how to use them with respect and science. Adopting aloe vera as an integral part of the health strategy on your farm is not only a smart economic decision to reduce costs, but a real commitment to more ethical, natural, and efficient breeding that respects the biology of each species. We have seen how a single plant, well prepared, can be anything from a potent immune shield for your pigs and waterfowl to a dairy production engine for your large livestock, as long as we scrupulously respect the draining processes and the specific warnings about toxicity in sensitive species like rabbits. I invite you not to stay only with this technical information, but to put it to the test today in your own operation. Plant your plants, prepare your first quality gel, and observe the positive changes in your specimens with critical eyes. Your pocket will thank you by reducing unnecessary expenses, but above all, your animals will prove it to you with health and vitality that will translate into better results for your business. Share this knowledge with other breeders in your community, because an informed and self-sufficient community is always a successful and prosperous community. To your success, fellow breeder, until next time.